Have you ever noticed how easy it is to slowly disappear inside someone else's expectations? Today, I want to talk to you about the hidden costs of people pleasing, cutting corners on yourself. Yep, and why self trust has to become the foundation for creating a life that actually you love that brings you joy. Why I go on and on about it all the time. Susan Lazar Hart here, and this is your Sunday Reset. This week inside Fearless Women Rising, I asked the women in the community what was really coming up for them now. And one woman responded to the topic of boundaries in a way I think so many of you might recognize. She talked about slowing herself down at work because she wanted to do things properly with integrity, and she was feeling the pressure to rush, speed things up, cut some corners. And then she noticed something really powerful. She realized that every time she ignored what she knew was right for her, she began compromising herself. She recognized she was out of integrity. It doesn't happen all at once, it happens quietly. And I think so many of us do this without realizing it. We override to avoid conflict. We silence ourselves to keep the peace. We adjust to fit someone else's pace, personality, or expectations, and slowly, we disappear. What struck me most in her message was this line: I feel like I don't know myself anymore. I feel like I don't know myself anymore. That's the real cost, not just the exhaustion, not just the resentment, the disconnection from yourself. And this happens in so many ways. Sometimes it's in a work situation where you know the pace being demanded of you just doesn't feel in alignment. Like our courageous writer who wrote in and saying, this just doesn't feel right for me. Sometimes it's in relationships where someone else's personality becomes so loud and demanding that your voice slowly gets quieter, and you withdraw. And you begin to live in reaction instead of responding to what would create the greatest amount of possibilities. Here's the problem with all that. When your life becomes built around managing everyone else's emotions, you stop listening to your own. And that's where self-trust begins to erode. Self-trust is not just about confidence. It's about honoring yourself. It's about noticing, this doesn't feel right for me. Or this interaction, wow, I just don't feel good in this relationship anymore. And it's costing me something, and I don't know what, because I know I matter here too. It just doesn't feel like it. Now, for many women, they were taught boundaries to feel guilty about something or someone. And that's where boundaries actually don't work. It's about what is your awareness, what works for you and what doesn't work for you, because it has to start from in here. Most of us were taught, well, if I'm doing something to disappoint someone, I must be doing something wrong. It's not about punishment. It's about self-respect. That's the moment you stop abandoning yourself to maintain a peace around you, right? You are the ripple that creates the ripple that creates the ripple. Because peace that costs you yourself, it's not peace. It's a disruption to your whole universe. And I love something else that she said. She recognized that she needed more fresh air, more movement, less stimulation, less coffee, and more grounding. And that awareness matters. Yeah. Because when we live under constant pressure, intensity, emotional unpredictability, upheaval, our bodies begin living in survival mode. And when we're in survival mode, we stop hearing ourselves clearly. Everything becomes a reaction. Self-trust grows when we slow down enough to hear our own inner voice again. Not the fearful one, not the pressured one, the truthful one, the one that says, yes, this actually works for me. And you get that radiation of joy and gratitude that comes from the inside out, not looking for it from the outside in. And here's what stayed with me after reading her message. How many women are walking around every day, slowly disappearing inside other people's needs, personalities, expectations, and urgency, and they're calling it being loved or being loving? Being responsible, being accommodating, being good does not mean that you're being loved. You might ask yourself, wow, at what age did I buy that as true and real? And one day what happens is you don't recognize yourself anymore. And eventually your nervous system starts whispering what your soul's been trying to tell you all along. This doesn't work for me. This does not work for me. Say it out loud. Put it on a sticky note. Look, a lot of my clients, they say, oh, I can't say this doesn't work for me. Practice saying it to yourself. Look in the mirror, say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then think about something that's not working in your favor for you and just say, this too shall pass. This does not work for me. It's kind of a cool thing. Because the truth is you miss yourself. And that's the real beginning of self-trust. Not becoming louder, not becoming harder, not suddenly having to have perfect boundaries, but noticing the moments when you leave yourself and gently finding your way back again. I love you, I love you, I love you. How can I make you happy today? Yeah. Maybe for many women, that's enough. And if you're a woman who wants a deeper conversation around self-trust, boundaries, identity, and creativity in creating a life that you actually love, come and join us inside our Fearless Women Rising Facebook group, because that's where we continue this conversation. If you're looking at the poll, if you're inside our Fearless Women's Facebook, let me know what pops for you with the poll, and I will address it in our next Sunday Reset. Until we meet again, live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader you came here to be, because the world needs more of you and the courage it takes for you to shout out loud, this is what works for me and this is what doesn't work for me. Yeah, and everything else, not mine, never was. I love you. I will see you next Sunday. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Susan Lazar Hart, Fearless Women Rising, please, please, please subscribe, and let's raise those numbers. Let's enjoy how many people are actually tapping into Fearless Women Rising in our YouTube channel, and spread the news. And if you're watching this on Fearless Women Rising, well, let me know what pops for you. Pop in a comment. You know, I do check in every day. Have an amazing, amazing Sunday. Mwah. Big love from Montreal.